Hey, yo, what up? I'm Josh Martinez inside of our Dunkin Music Lounge, New York City, with my guest, Burt McCracken, Robbietheused. What do we go with right now at this point?
You can call me Burt or Robbie. It's fine.
Okay.
My family calls me Robbie, so that was kind of the out, the in, you know.
So then Robbietheused is what we're going to go. We're just going to go off the social media handle if we want, right?
That's fine with me, yeah.
So what made you, obviously you just said like the family is kind of the reason for the, I guess, little bit of a name change, if you will, when doing the solo stuff.
Yeah.
When did that hit you? Like, that's what I'm going to go with. I don't want to be Burt, I'll be Robbie.
Quite a long time ago. I think Burt is a certain kind of character. You know, he's a little bit of a wild card. He's a little bit unhinged. I think Robbie's just a little more tame and a little more pop, you know.
So in line with pop, I actually had a fan submit a question. She's here. Her name is Kylie. She wanted to know when kind of going into pop a little more, did your family, specifically your daughter, have any opinions on it?
My daughters love it, but they love everything I do. You know, they're sweet. They're sweet kids.
So I have a 1-year-old girl. It's my first child.
Nice, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. What would your best advice be as a girl dad?
I think you got to let them be themselves no matter what, you know, and you got to really let them know that they can accomplish anything that they put their mind to. Nobody can tell them no.
I love that.
Yeah.
So empowering, especially on a day like today. By the way, as you watch this, it is election day.
Yikes.
So it is a very busy day. Thank you for stopping by, like on election
You're
day.
welcome. No problem. Thanks for having me.
Did you get an early ballot in, or early voting in?
Yeah, we are overseas because I live in Australia.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, so I worked out that way.
Australia.
Yeah.
What?
I've been down there for 12 years. I met my wife in Australia, so we lived in L.A. We kind of moved around a little bit, but when we decided to have kids, we're like, let's get out of here. You know?
So it was the kids that made you want to go to Australia full
yeah,
time?
it's free to have kids down there.
What would you say is the biggest difference in raising kids in America compared to Australia?
I think there's a lot of positives with the public education. That's one thing that really kind of attracted us to. My daughters go to the same school my wife went to, so it's pretty awesome. And the healthcare is amazing, and it's free. You know,
If it's free, it's good for me.
yeah,
That's
exactly
the life
right.
motto.
Yeah.
So you had a show last night in New York City. What's the biggest difference in performing kind of the solo stuff compared to when you're with a full band?
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking just being up there by myself. 25 years of playing with our bass player and kind of having that comfort on stage. Going out by myself is a bit wild, but very intimate, like a little dance party.
So when you just mentioned that it's a little more nerve-wracking, is there anything that you like to do before your shows to kind of get you in a zone of sorts?
I usually sing the entire set that I'm going to play before I go out and play it. It's been a habit for years and years.
Can you memorize the entire set without looking at the
Of course, yeah, you got to.
Wow, that's impressive. Now, you could say you got to all you want, but we know performers constantly do one of these and looks around, or in some cases has a full-blown teleprompter out back helping them with the lyrics.
Yeah, I've listened to this music more than anyone else in the world, so it's like I'm ready. And I'm just playing the record from front to back.
Oh, so that does make it a little easier then.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So what made you finally go, okay, now we're going to go with the solo project now, and not necessarily break away from the band, but just kind of try this out and see where I go?
Yeah, I've always tried to kind of force the pop songs into the used, and the boys like to keep it heavy, so I grew up listening to Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, all the good pop. So it's always been in my wheelhouse to kind of love a good catchy melody. So yeah, I decided that it would be nice to have some just sweet pop songs just for me.
So when I think of pop and I think of you, you redid a song with Demi Lovato for her rock album.
Yeah.
How did that even come about?
She just hit me up. She's like,
Oh, it was that simple?
will you please sing on this song? And I'm like, of course I will. It's awesome.
How did your wife and daughter kind of look at, like, wait, Demi Lovato?
They loved it. they love pop music of all sorts, so they were really stoked.
So what music do you hear around the house nowadays that isn't yours?
My wife listens to a lot of like dance, house music, you know, just that kind of stuff. But we do listen to a lot of modern pop. We love Post Malone. Yeah.
So when an artist like Post Malone drops a new album that is completely different from kind of the format or genre that he does. What does that do from an inspirational standpoint for you?
Yeah, it's crazy. He can pretty much do whatever he wants, right? I've never really been into country, so it's not really my thing.
Same.
But his record before that just kind of smashed me to pieces. I think it's one of the best records of all time.
So when you decide to try new things, who's the first person that you will play it for?
Our producer, John Feldman, he's
Okay.
been a big brother to me for 25 years now, and he's a sweetheart. He's the hardest working guy in music that I know. So we bounce ideas back and forth, and we get along really well.
So whose idea was it to do a remix in 2005 of a Christmas song? I believe you did the vocals. It was Happy Christmas in
Yeah.
2005. How
Yeah.
did that even come about?
Just a bunch of friends of mine, and yeah, it just it just came about. It was no real plan. It just kind of happened, you know.
What would it take for you to do another Christmas cover?
It wouldn't take a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I love Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
So when do Christmas ornaments, when do Christmas decorations go up in the house?
Oh, we're not we're not crazy November people, so probably the beginning of December.
He's not a psychopath. That's
Yeah,
what he's
no.
saying. He's not a sociopath. Thank you for that, by the way. That is a constant argument around this building because I live on Staten Island,
Right.
and I saw someone with their decorations up for Christmas before Halloween.
Oh no. No thank you. That's a
Eh.
bit much.
Thank you. And I just think that's aggressive. I'm even okay doing it before Thanksgiving if it's like a week or two before Thanksgiving.
Right.
But I think there's like a November 1st, or in this case, like Election Day this year, where like after Election Day, maybe start to think about it.
Yeah, when you start hearing pop Christmas songs, the same ones you hear over and over and over, when you start hearing them at the beginning of November, it's kind of like, oh man, it's a bit much.
So, what are your plans for 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, we got a lot of big stuff coming with the Used. It's our 25th year anniversary of being in a band, so we got some really special stuff coming up. We're going to announce probably December.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there? So you're on tour right now. You're doing select cities.
Right.
Is there a city that when you see it on the touring route where you go, oh, that's such an underrated city. We're about to have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I love New Jersey.
Okay.
They always go hard. New York's not an underrated city, but it's one of my favorite places to play. I think the fans that come out to the Used and the Robbietheused are hardcore, dedicated fans and come out for like a really special moment, you know?
When you meet fans that have your lyrics tattooed on them, what's the emotion that goes through you?
It's amazing. It's a great feeling. I have always written for me, and I've always opened my heart and been crazy personal with my lyrics. But I think everybody has a similar story. Everybody deals with heartbreak, and everyone deals with sorrow and loss. So when I see that lyric tattooed on, it warms my heart, really.
So you mentioned songwriting. Do you have a specific process, or are you more of you just take out your phone, write down some notes, and then when you get to the studio, you'll elaborate?
Yeah, it's all over the place. I still keep a physical journal.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to write stuff down like that. And yeah, the process usually goes, you come into the studio, sit down like we are, have a little therapy session. How's everybody feeling? What's on your mind? And then we take that and we try to make a song that sounds like that.
So a lot of the music from the Used, a lot of the stuff that you have written rather, very personal stuff, very deep stuff. Has there ever been a time where you look at it and you're like, maybe this is just a little too personal right now?
Every time I put out a record, I get
Really?
terrified, yeah. As I open myself up so much, in the moment it doesn't feel like anything, but then when it's about to come out, I'm like, oh, what did I do?
Has there ever been a time where you don't even want to go over these lyrics in particular? You're like, okay, this is just a little too heavy right now?
No, I think that it's a super important part of music is to expose yourself and kind of put your journal into the world, you know?
So you mentioned 25 years of the Used coming up. Honestly, what keeps you motivated? Because at this point, you could just chill in Australia and just not have to worry about music.
We just love being on stage. We love that. We love the energy. We love our fans. They're beautiful, beautiful people. They've always been really sweet and not jaded, you know? And we love playing live shows. We love recording. We love the whole thing. So we'll keep going for as long as we can.
So if there was a fan of yours that was 15 when you guys came out, they're now 40. That's how math works.
Yep.
Do you find yourself changing the content of the music, specifically for the Used, to kind of cater a little more to more millennials or elder millennials, as we are
Right.
called.
Elder emos.
Yeah, the ones that were born in the 1900s.
Yeah, late 1900s. No, we keep it real. We like to have mosh pits. We like people to jump up and down and wave their arms around and be crazy. So get wild at a used show.
I love that.
Yeah,
Specifically, I went to a Lincoln Park show at Barclays Center recently.
nice.
My millennial knees and feet can't hold up anymore. There were several. The moment a ballad kicked in, I was like, all right, this is my chance to sit
Yeah.
down and rest these good old millennial knees.
Yeah, we feel that as well, but it's all about letting loose. You know, you rarely get a time to kind of just feel free, like you're at home dancing by yourself.
One thing I like to ask a lot of artists is when you get off stage, you are like on this incredible high,
Right.
where like you can't get off stage at midnight and go to sleep at 12:30.
No, definitely not.
Right. Like what time did you go to sleep this morning?
Like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, we talked about
Yeah.
that earlier. 4 in the morning. What do you do now to kind of help you come down from that high that maybe you hadn't done back in the day that's extremely helpful, not only for you, but could be helpful for other artists?
Reading a book always helps me kind of chill out and take my mind off the excitement of the show. We go to the gym right after we play, so we kind of try to use that energy and harness that into something a little bit productive. So we try.
Of all the artists I've ever interviewed, you are the first one to say that you work out after a performance, which I think is probably the smartest thing to do.
You're just super hyped after the show. You've just had a huge cardio session. You don't have to worry about cardio at the gym. You just get some weights in, and yeah, it's fun.
I've always felt that that's probably the best time to work out. And plus,
I think so.
it's also extremely healthy.
Yeah, well, we try our best. We're in our 40s now, so
Metabolism is up.
yeah, it is. I'm eating donuts back there. What am I thinking?
But they have your face on
They
it.
have my face on them. So cute. I was,
So we are in the Dunkin Music Lounge, and I always like to ask this question to anyone that comes in here, any artist that comes in. If you had the opportunity to sit in a Dunkin for 60 minutes with any one artist, dead or alive, who are you going to sit with?
oh, that's tough to say one. I would probably pick either David Bowie or Prince.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like those.
I mean, Michael Jackson has always been my soul, my heart and soul. But yeah, Prince, David Bowie, maybe Tom Petty.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those names I feel like pop up a lot, and it just shows the impact that these artists have
Yeah.
on all forms of music. Obviously, with the Used, you don't think of the Used and think of Michael Jackson necessarily.
Right.
So just quick rapid fire questions.
Okay.
What is your favorite book of all time?
1984.
If you had an autobiography, what would be the name of it?
That's a good question. Release the Kraken.
Your favorite tattoo?
My 1984 tattoo on my fingers.
There you go. Most memorable tour?
This Pierce the Veil tour we just did was incredible. Everybody hung out. Everybody was super close friends. Chill outside the bus all day.
Favorite city on this tour?
I love playing in LA. I love playing in New York.
Okay.
Jersey always goes so hard for the Used.
Do you remember the first time you ever voted?
Yeah, right after I was 18.
There you go.
Yeah.
Presidential or local election?
Presidential, yeah.
Nice. Well, who was that? Do you remember the?
It was 2000, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would have been Gore Bush.
Yep.
Anybody remember? Is that true?
I think so.
Whatever. It is now.
Sean knows.
So we
It is now.
It is now. That's what we're gonna go with. Fact check us on the bottom of this as you edit this, Liam. Thank you. One more time, Bert, Robbie, the man of the Used, the man who's gonna be celebrating 25 years with the Used next year. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.